guys, peace and love. This is your girl Nikki, aka Honesty, and you are now tuned into the Rapport, the Hip Hop Roundtable. This is the first episode that we're having, and I would like to all welcome you. God bless and peace. Today we're gonna just do a light introduction. I'm just gonna let you guys know what the Rapport is about. The Rapport is basically what the tag says, and we are celebrating diverse lifestyles under the elements of hip hop. Now what that means, to break it down for people who don't understand, hip-hop is not just rap music. That's a misconception that a lot of people have. Hip-hop is a culture. Hip-hop is lifestyle. Hip-hop is something that everybody experiences, whether they want to admit it or not. Now, what I mean by diverse lifestyles is that it could be someone that's been living on the streets as a bum for 20 plus years. It could be a man that works on Wall Street for 20 plus years. It could be my mama. It could be your grandma. It could be, your cousin that speaks French. Anybody that can relate is going to be celebrated. Their voice is going to be heard. And the most important element that a lot of people forget about hip hop is knowledge. And that's something that I want to bring to the table that a lot of people do not acknowledge. Acknowledge the knowledge. Now, we have a lot of aspects of hip hop that we want to celebrate, and one of them is our society, is our community, is the positive lifestyles we are trying to cultivate, that we have lived before, that we are living now, and for the lives that are to live and come. Now, we're just gonna keep it light. We're gonna keep it funky. We're gonna just start with some recent events in the hip-hop world. Now, one of the biggest female artists right now is Cardi B, and that's something that is undeniable. We cannot not talk about Cardi B. Her album Anticipation is pretty popping right now. It's to be coming out in October. I don't know if that's mid-October. It's still not officially announced. I don't think it is. But how do you guys feel about that? Let's open with that. What's up?
Cause listen, that song is life.
Yeah. A lot of people are loving this song.
You know what it is? It's like what would you guys do right now with $1 million? Like she came from poverty. Like the first thing you want to do is ball out.
The thing that I would do with $1 million is take someone else's song and remix it to make it a hit.
Okay. You're right, but you're business minded.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have $1 million, can't you be just a little more original?
I sensed where you were going with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people gravitate towards Cardi B just because she's an underdog. She started from the bottom.
She's
relatable. Not to quote, Players Club, but she used what she had to get what she wanted, and it worked for her. You know what I'm saying? You can't knock people. You don't know. The kind of different trials and tribulations that they really had to go through to get to that point. So a lot of people resonate with her because we're all trying to come up and make a way. Right. And she just happened to gravitate to the top, whether or not she sampled somebody's song or whatever. It was more about her character and who she is as an individual that made people root for her.
Right. No, it's not about there's no hate towards her because I respect her 100% because the whatever she did it and she made it, and it worked for her. It may not work for me, it may not work for everybody, but it worked for her, and she's successful. She has the hottest song out right now. She's about to be #1. This is what I keep hearing.
That's right.
And so
she's about to be #1 with no features.
By the time everybody watches this, it's probably gonna be #1.
That's it. People bump it up too much.
And that's the thing. One thing about me is that I will point out the facts, but I'm never gonna put them down just cause whatever. I may not like an artist, I may not like even a movie star, but I'm gonna give them respect where it's due, and she definitely deserves respect.
Especially because she's being honest about her shit. It's not like she's trying to hide it, secretly, behind the scenes.
Yeah,
doing all this whole shit, but in front of the camera. I got my act together, political science major. No, she's straight up. She was like, yeah, I was in the strip club. Yeah, I did this, I did that. Yeah, I was in an abusive relationship, and now look at me. So this is what I had to go through, and I don't encourage you to do it, but if that's what you got to do to get yours, then get yours.
But tell me you don't feel like robbing 5 banks and buying mad groceries. If that song comes on in the supermarket, son, I'm grabbing 2 more ground beefs than I was supposed to, or 7 more salads. Cause I'm
one thing I would say is, more importantly, over her music, personally, I've watched her video catalog, and I did not know that she has so many videos like that.
Put a lot of work in.
And the videos are good. They're really nice. She always looks good. Like her outfits are popping, and it's on point.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I give credit.
Idea. You give credit to where credit is due. She looks. I think we had this discussion.
Yeah.
I think she's beautiful.
Even though my face,
fly,
my face was a little screwed watching the videos because I gotta like listen to the lyrics and shit. I'm like,
She put her own money into herself too.
well, there you go.
There you go.
And that's even more respect. You know, and
young
eventually,
entrepreneur.
and people who respect that young entrepreneurship is going to want to invest more time and money in her.
Well, that's why people invested in her, because she took her own money and put it into herself and built her own fan base.
Right.
So when you do that, the people with the money is paying attention to you.
Right.
Right?
Right. Exactly. I mean, and she already has a lot of attention on her. So.
And I think she did a great job in just building her brand, using, Love and Hip Hop as leverage, really helped boost her presence and
It definitely built a fan base and a presence with people that wasn't familiar with her when they saw on the show. They was like, oh, and then went to YouTube and saw it and she just got bigger.
That's right.
I think what I appreciate the most about her is the fact that she's a woman in hip hop. I think that's one thing that's been so lacking over the last, 15 years or so. Where the ladies at? Where the females at? Where the women at? Like, I would love to see, like, Ken and Foxy make the piece and go into it. Can you imagine how crazy a hip hop tour would be now?
Yeah.
After the ladies got together and said, Joe, we're going to do this. We're going to do an album. We're going to do an EP. So I think just for that alone, I can appreciate her as an artist. And she's doing it independently even better. Now you incorporate in the business aspect.
But do you feel like as a woman in hip hop that she's allowing like women in hip hop to be like more of like, because women separated is one thing, but women together are a force.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like little bitch, you can't fuck with me. If you wanted to, is sending the message of women being together.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
Fair enough.
Well, from the competitive nature of hip hop, if you're just talking about just the rhyme and the ability,
Right.
you're always going to have that. You're always that is that. If we just talking
That's
about,
true.
if I'm just saying this style shine lyrically or to show I'm a better MC, that's fine.
Right.
Now, if I'm saying it because when I see you in the club, or I see you in the street, I'm gonna step to you. That's something different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, if it's for the business and it's for the sport of hip hop, none going to competition.
At the same time, not for nothing, but there's a lot of people out there that rather hear that type of controversy rather than the come together. Like the come together, they want to hear every once in a while, like when something happened. You know what I mean? It's the truth, but I feel like that's what's in the mainstream right now. Everybody's battling. You know what I mean? Look at Remy. Look at Nicki. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's
healthy competition.
right.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't get to the point where it's disrespectfully violent, in a physical aspect, or you trying to come at people's lives, it's completely natural. People have been battling in hip hop since it began. You know what I mean?
Well,
At the end of the day.
she's winning. If you listen to her song content, right? She's giving the people what they want.
They want to hear, basically.
She's talking about fuck niggas. She's talking about getting money. She's talking about popping the pussy.
Hand.
This is all content that sells for her.
Yeah.
Right? And so, if I'm an artist and I'm creating, I want to create something that's going to sell. What are the people listening to? They're not listening to the Say the World bullshit. They're not buying that. They want to buy, fuck him, fuck her, I'm bad, you not.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think, and does everyone think, how do you feel about the follow-up to this
Bodak
record?
Yellow.
Yeah.
But she already knows that she gotta come hard on
Right.
that.
Do you think, okay, so in your opinion, do you think it's going to be as big? Do you think it's going to be as impact? Like,
A follow-up single to
follow-up
Bodak?
record, yes.
Well,
But my
it's going to be hard to be herself.
And that's something that she mentioned
And she,
in her interview.
yeah, she mentions that a lot in her interviews, that it's going to be hard to be herself. She got the pressure on her.
Yeah.
And it sucks that you cannot be yourself.
No,
Like, this
no.
is...
It's pressure, but it's good pressure.
Yeah.
But you ain't nothing to lose. I don't have nothing to lose. I've been down all my life.
That's right.
I'm up right now. So if my next follow-up single can at least do half of what the first one did, I'm still winning. Because guess what? You still gonna pay attention to me.
And then even then, just in terms of setting up the brand, right? So boom,
Exactly.
Bodak Yellow put her on the map. She has a shoe deal with who? Is it Steve Madden? So now she's coming out with shoes.
I like
so
that.
Her
it's
brand.
all about expanding the brand.
So, I have something to kind of like go into. I know that Cardi B, we're going to close out with this. Cardi B's representation, of course, in hip hop, what we kind of touched on, and bringing all women together in a unification, which we hope that can happen,
Right.
even if it's along the basis of healthy competition. That's cool. But as a woman, exploring the art of sexuality in hip hop, I have to kind of go into someone else that's been on my mind. Young Jock. Yeah.
What we talking about him?
I mean,
everybody done seen the picture of Young Jock.
Dresses.
Can we talk about my baby boy?
Listen, he's thrift shop prom dresses.
I mean, at least
cannot
they're gonna look good on you, right? Like,
You cannot be caught up on the street knowing you paparazzi follow you like crazy wearing a Burlington Coat
Whoa.
Factory clearance dress.
Well, he did it for the check.
But I will tell you this.
Who checked
Let me
and
tell
how
you
much?
He
For
did.
what reason?
He did it for the check. For whatever reason, I don't know.
Now.
But he did it for the check. I mean, if he want to sell his soul, let him sell his soul. I mean, you know.
I personally, I'm gonna say it like this. I grew up down south,
Yes.
so I know Southern people have a tendency to go above and beyond with their fashion. Not making an excuse for old boy wearing a dress, but we were just having this discussion, and it's the truth. They will take the fabric off of their grandmother's couch and make tapestries or whatever out of it. But as long as it looks good with some kicks, they gonna do it.
Oh, no.
So I'm not, like, that's not to shade him. You can't, like, some people are gonna sit there and be like, oh, but why he wearing a dress? Oh boy, you know what I'm saying? He flocking on that end. But it ain't got nothing to do with that. I just think it is.
I think it's
you know?
the dress on top of the S curl Shuba B.
It's crazy. It ain't no different from every trend and every fashion, you know, fashion trend switching up.
True.
People shaving their head. Damn, you shaving your head. People wearing, you know, like people wearing like different things. You got, you know, and it's no different from what do we call them? What do they say about like African men wearing the agbada in the street?
Right.
It's a dress.
At the same time,
You know what I'm saying? It's culture.
No.
Right, yeah, but that's not
But-
culture. That's not what he was doing.
Right.
Right, it's no different. But
I guess
people
they
that
have
don't
their own
understand
culture.
that
Right.
will consider, instead of calling it an agbada, they will call it a dress.
Right.
You get
My
what I'm
man
saying?
is
And not
wearing-
understand their culture.
He
It
looked
will
like
be
an
no
auntie
different.
dropping off his kid at
You're
8th
right.
grade.
You're right.
Ridiculous.
But
Like the 8th grade prom. Like,
Right.
what are you doing, my guy?
no, you're right. He was wearing a Burlington Coat Factory clearance
He
dress.
really was.
It was crazy. I
He
saw
really
that
was.
in 10th grade.
Mm.
But
Like-
yet still, you know,
Do you
it's
feel
I
like-
feel like it's a Southern thing.
Do you
They
feel like
be
it has
doing
to
some
do
crazy
with like
stuff.
Little Uzi and he's trying to stay relevant?
I
with,
was
like,
just,
I kinda think so.
These little-
I haven't really heard anything from him in a while.
How is the sexuality like image changing and evolving in hip hop right now? Like
Yes.
it's
Prince.
becoming more and more acceptable.
Prince, Michael Jackson.
I mean,
You're
They were
right.
doing it as, you know, an island for a long time. Like, oh, that's just Prince. That's just Michael. You know, like
Right.
now it's
And now it's, I don't really
it's
care.
younger guys, and
Whoa.
you know they're just getting a little reckless with it. I mean,
Mhm.
for me, wear what you want, do as you please,
Right.
represent yourself. How
Right.
are you gonna represent yourself? But at the same time, like have a little dignity.
Don't
But you
walk
can switch it
outside
up on
looking
me. You can't
retarded,
meet me in the
you know?
club is going down and
You-
then have a scoop neck dress on.
No,
He
you
said,
absolutely
meet him
right.
in the club, it's going down.
No, you absolutely right.
I guess
And then
I'll-
on top of that, you can't be
This is
wearing
true.
my jeans. You can't be walking outside and mistaking my jeans for your jeans and then walk out. Like, no.
Yo.
I'm wearing my
I feel like
jeans.
she's trying to throw shade on me though.
You and your pants kind of.
You wearing my jeans? Whatever. Are you wearing my jeans? You ain't
I'm
wearing
seeing
my
some
jeans.
thigh meat.
Hey, I grew up in the 90s, yo.
I'm with
Big
you.
golden era type shit.
with
you know
you.
what I
90s
mean?
babies.
Yeah.
No.
80s baby.
Hey.
All my
Yeah,
pants is
I'm
baggy, all my yo.
I guess
You know what
to
I
all
mean?
these rappers, I want to know what's the reasoning, what's the purpose, what statement are you trying to make? You know, what are you representing? What aspect of hip hop is that? That's I guess my
And
biggest
there's a
question.
lot of
That's new school
conversation
hip-hop,
just
bro.
about
Yes.
how
New
the
school?
strength
Yeah.
and masculinity is kind of being diminished by
It is.
the media
Yes.
and the culture. So
That's
if
crazy.
you speak on it, they'll try to say that you're homophobic or
Yeah.
Right.
whatever the case may be, but it's not that. It's just grow up being conditioned a certain way. A man should be this way.
Right.
So what exactly is happening? If you are gay, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the way in which you present yourself, right? That's your
Exactly.
sexuality
Right.
and what you choose to do behind closed doors.
Right.
Right.
You know, so it's like once it's now being entered into the forefront, a lot of people, or males rather, they're dressing in a way that one would consider to be feminized,
Right.
but is your masculinity still in check? And if not, why? Does it matter why? Should we care why? Or do we just care about the product that's being pushed?
At the same time, I don't feel like it should be hip hop then. Like, it's not, like, that's not what it, like, a hip hop purist, that's not what it was about in the first place. Like, we didn't, like, LL Cool J, the Kangol hats and the, like, we didn't.
Why ain't your ass over here?
That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
you want to
We
talk.
did.
Get in the setup.
You talking more than that. Nika behind the scenes.
I know.
I'm just saying, like,
She's
hip
the
hop
voice
purists.
behind the cameras.
The Wizard of Oz.
Being a hip hop purist, that's not what it was. Like, it was about, like, I'm here with the slam, dun dun dun, let the boys be boys.
We
Like,
just thought
I
of
the
know.
boys didn't, like, you know, the boys
And
didn't
that's
do
the
shoulders.
thing.
Yeah, that's your
There's
boy type
always
shit.
been a stigma in hip hop around homosexuality
Yeah.
too, right? So yeah, you might say they weren't shaking and shimmying. That doesn't mean that they didn't partake in such activity.
Well, that's,
So that's
how the
why I'm
industry is,
saying,
right?
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
does your sexuality necessarily matter if you're putting out quality music? So that's
Not
my
if you-
issue.
so-
You guys
no,
can be
it-
shaking and shimmying,
Yeah.
but bars still matter. So don't
Right.
shake and shimmy and mumble. Where's the balance?
Pick one.
It matters
Right.
depending on what you're rapping about, I would think.
Yeah.
You know, if you live a homosexual lifestyle, then you rapping about, you're trying to be a Mac or pimping and you're getting all ladies in your music, I would have a problem with that because that's not
right,
the
what
reality.
you saying, because
As an artist, that's not the reality of your lifestyle. You know, and not to say that everything an artist says on music is real, but there should be. You would like, as a rap fan, I like to think there's some connection. Something. With
Some sense
something,
of
some credibility. Yes,
authenticity.
absolutely.
I have
absolutely.
a question. Now, I had this conversation with someone recently, and I didn't really know how to approach it because, on the one hand, I feel my own kind of way, having my own experience, but at the same time, it has been a consistent aspect in our culture that, people are growing up without their fathers. And do you feel like that has an impact on it? Like, I know personally, my brothers try to pull that.
No.
It ain't happening. He will take you outside in your dress, beat you crazy, and then make you go back upstairs and change. Bring your ass back downstairs to beat you again. This is the right thing to do, or at least this is what a young man should do. This is the path you gotta follow. So I just wondered, do you guys feel like that has an aspect to it? Like, nobody's telling these young men what it is to be a man.
I mean,
No one's teaching them.
It's just a lack of leadership, role models,
Right.
right? I mean, growing up, you only become what you see, right? You only act out what you see and you hear. So if you're in a household, you don't have any strong models around you or community models around you. You're in a house full of females and sisters and you're not socially accepted amongst your peers like that, and you fall in another pocket.
Right.
So you're not developed right. I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to say because I know men who have been raised by generations of
Right.
women and they are strong men.
Yes.
And even if they are homosexual, they
Right.
are still strong
men.
men.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Understand what I'm saying?
So I think the question comes down to, can a single mom teach her son to be a man? I don't know about that.
My mom taught me how to be a man.
I think a single mom, I think a mother can teach her to be a good person, but to be a man, that's something different. That means something that you can probably get from another man to a certain
I agree
degree.
with that.
But I can also beg to differ because I was raised in a house. My grandmother had 6 children. She had 5 girls and 1 boy.
Okay.
She raised him by herself, and he's a good man. He's married. He's a real estate agent. He's doing his thing.
Right.
I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with a lack of male. I just think it has everything to do with the strength.
Okay.
Strength on, your morals.
Right.
What you teach your children at the end of the day.
Nature
You know what I'm
versus nurture.
saying? You have to teach them to accept certain things. I mean, even though, like, not to accept them within themselves, but you can't change other people.
Right.
But you can accept who they are, and you can just be loving and caring to them. You have to give them the right direction, no matter whether you're male or female. I feel like a male can raise a daughter, just like a woman can raise a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Her mother raised her all her life. You know, she raised her brother too. And that's one of the strongest women that I know. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the, like my grandmother, God rest her soul, one of the strongest women that I know. You know what I'm saying? And she raised us all.
So that begs the question, do you think our youth is strong enough to take messages?
I think that this youth now, the youth that we have, a lot of them
You're like,
are too. I don't, and you know what? I agree with his face because I agree with his face because at the end of the day now, like I feel like there's a lot of parents out there that have those teenage kids that they're too busy trying to be their teenage kids.
Exactly.
They're too busy trying to be the 16 and 17-year-old. You know, you can be. I'm 34 years old. I can walk out there in a halter top and some high jeans, but I wear it with class. I don't wear it to show my ass. You know what I mean? I do it because it makes me feel good about myself. There's women out there that are doing it because they want to do it for the gram. Or they want to do it for Facebook or do it for the likes and do it for this instead of doing it for yourself because it makes you feel good as a person. You know what I mean? This youth, especially these young girls today, I feel like they're doomed because they don't have the good role models.
You know what makes me mad about the youth today though? Like, they can find everything off of YouTube. Like I had to struggle with makeup from out there.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Are just bad.
Instead
like,
of them having that, you know, that bridge to go home and be like, Mom, you know what I'm saying? This and this and this and this and this. She's saying, girl, don't worry about it. Let me borrow your jeans. Instead of saying, you know,
like, let me take the time and
let's take the time and let's have a conversation.
You know, you can't blame the youth.
I don't blame them. I blame their parents.
No,
but go ahead.
you can't blame the youth without blaming the generation before them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Is that
Now-
my generation?
Now,
Kinda, yeah.
Damn it. Say what you want to say, because I have some.
yeah. All right. So the generation before them, right? Like my grandparents, right? My grandparents, they built foundation. They had a foundation in their household, and they took care of my parents, right? And the parents, you know, especially growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, you know, there was a lot of craziness going on.
True that.
And people, you know, had kids young, stuff was going on. And households, you know, became broken. You know, we had fathers going to jail, people strung out on drugs, and they had kids. You know, and these kids was raised up in broken households. All right, and so their kids really didn't grow up with no structure. So now, those kids are now having kids. Now,
This is true.
the structure was broken.
Yes.
There's no men in the house. Once again, you know, there's nobody advised. Nobody goes by the code. You know, those codes.
Of respect.
You know what I'm saying? Respect,
and honor.
honor, loyalty.
Code of conduct.
Yes.
That's right.
They don't know that.
Yeah.
They wasn't taught that. So it's not their fault. It's a generation before them.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Right.
This is the generation, but this is the information age. They can
So
find
No.
everything.
If
This
it's
is
not
clouded,
if it's not installed, see, I had certain values installed in me as a kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I was 9, 10, 11, running around,
I was coming home by myself.
yeah.
That's true.
But I had values installed in me
Yeah.
by the older guys.
You better not be outside.
You know what I mean?
Why you
Lights
like that
on,
shirt? I told you
you
not to
in the
wear.
house.
I couldn't walk by an old lady who needed help
It was a village that raised me.
and walk by her. I couldn't do that.
Yep.
Somebody would pull my coattail. I couldn't cuss in front of an elder and not get slapped in my mouth.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't go to school and disrespect the teacher and go home and nothing happened to me.
Right.
But
Those things, you couldn't do that.
devil's advocate again, look what we're leaving them. Look at the decisions that we're making. Do you feel like they have to respect us because of like, look at the decisions we're making as like,
Listen.
you know, when it comes to like, you know, our environment and stuff like that. We're not leaving anything for them. So they're like, fuck y'all.
No.
I gotta respect
See,
y'all.
what happens is, because the people in their pipeline was screwed up, they looking at everybody else in that generation is screwed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. It's the pipeline, and not everybody comes from that pipeline. So you gotta take time to be like, well, Michael ain't like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So my question is, what does hip hop do to make that better or worse?
It's education.
As far as a generational, influence, as far as what our parents listened to as they grew up, what they experienced, and taking it back to the actual foundation of hip hop and how it all began.
You know how hip hop gets better?
Yeah.
When you had the older MCs, and instead of looking down on the young MCs, become mentors to them.
Right, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Teach them.
Direction.
They don't.
That's right.
They're only gonna do better if they know better.
But then we have rappers like Joe Budden.
That shouldn't only be the younger artists. That should be why can't that be the audience members too? The people that are listening to
I'm saying
their music.
From a creative standpoint, right? It's your job to teach the younger generation. You ushering them. They followed you in, right? And so if they wasn't familiar with you, right, introduce yourself to them.
Yeah. Open
yourself up to them. Don't become distant. Nah, I'm too busy for you. No, they looking up to you. You gotta make that happen. Right. You gotta talk to them, because if you don't, they're gonna go off and do what they want to do. They're gonna.
And that's what we're seeing now.
And this is exactly what you're seeing, because you was too busy to sit down and politic with them. You know what I'm saying? Show them how to do songs. Show them how to be responsible for content.
How about your money? How about that?
How about even money? Show them
But even speaking to that point, even about content, these young artists are getting signed. All right, what's the child's name? I don't know her name. Cash Me Outside Girl.
Don't even. She's
no, but look, right? So we have
her name is Bad Barbie.
Yes,
She signed that
No.
Hold on. I've been wanting to say something real quick.
It's actually two things. Respect has to go both ways. The younger artists can't keep saying to the older, oh, you're old, you're played out, you're washed up, we can't mess with you. Right. And the older artists can't be saying, oh, your new music is whack, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. It has to be a mutual respect.
Has to be balance.
Even if you don't necessarily like each other's music, respect as artists in a genre and hip hop. Hip hop came out of trying to unite and bring peace. That has to come back to that. It has to be united.
And people expressing themselves creatively. These young cats, they're coming out with music that they made up off the dome, telling their own version of what's going on.
And what makes things harder is the social media. Now I don't need to go. So if I'm a young MC, I don't necessarily need to go to an older head, an older icon to learn about hip hop. I can do my own thing. I can do my own YouTube videos. I can tell this person, that person. That's changed a lot from past generations of hip hop, where you might have had old MC who would mentor a younger guy. So that's changed. The whole dynamic of hip hop and the business has changed so much.
So you're saying there's no industry standard now?
No. So thinking about like the Cash Me Outside Girl, how about that?
Bad Bobby.
She started off acting a fool on a TV show, gained notoriety from that. Now she's signed to Atlantic Records, right? How do we get from blatant disrespect of our parents to a record deal, right? So at a certain point, we got to look at the machine, because the machine is what is pushing out a lot of this bullshit that people are subscribing to, that they are co-signing to by choice. See me? I'm a hip-hop head, 80s made, 90s raised. I'm a big fan and proponent about bars, content, lyricism.
While you at it, tell them a little bit.
Let's talk about me. Well, I've been rapping since I was 12, and I decided to take it seriously maybe in the past 2 years. So my stage name is Slim Trim. Find me on all social media, Slim Trim Sound. But just being exposed to the different facets of the industry, meeting with people who have entertained the greats. I'm talking about Tupac, Biggie, being in the same room, sharing the energy as those people. Back then, there was a machine that said, listen, if you spit some bullshit, we're not putting your record out.
Afuera.
Period. How do we shift from this kind of, again, the checks and balances where somebody's actually checking shorty like, listen, yeah, you might have somebody that can write for you, it's cool, but your overall persona, what are you selling? Yeah. What is this little girl selling now?
There's no purpose in the hip hop music no more.
She even disrespected who put her on. Like Dr. Phil put her on, and she's like, I made you. Like,
shout out to Dr.
Phil.
Dr. Phil was already made.
how she even got there.
Exactly.
He's just cashing a couple more checks.
No,
Basically.
it's the same thing the Cardi B effect, right? She got her deal based on her interest from the people,
Right.
right? People always going checking up on YouTube, checking her social media.
Yeah.
She has an interest. Her interest generates $1. You know, she was getting bookings. So in Atlantic Records' mind, like, you know what, this girl probably make some money. We might got the next Cardi B. You know, Cardi B ain't no rapper. You know, we put a couple people around her, put a little team around her, fix it up, cash cow.
Right.
Same thing with Catch Me Outside Girl. She ain't no rapper. Cardi B wasn't a rapper.
But Cardi B also said that she had been rapping since she was a youngin.
I mean,
so
Catch Me Outside Girl, Cardi
B has a lot more bars
Catch
than
Me Outside
Bad
Girl
Cardi.
was born in 2003.
I'm sure she could carry
But
this
listen,
a lot more.
listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. She probably
Y2K
has,
at the end of the
she
day.
probably has an interest in hip hop, right? She probably, you know, they make stars now. They make them.
Just crank them out.
Everything is made by Mattel.
Yeah.
But the one thing we overlook was speaking from the perspective of hip hop purists. We realize this is still a business, and there's somebody's job depending on that next star, that next hit, no matter who or where it comes from or what they're about. And that's the one thing we overlook. So remember, it's always that hip hop is a business.
Atlantic was looking for the next Cardi B. Catch Me Outside Girl, you got views? Come on over here.
So we're accepting.
Somebody call Stevie J.
Well, there's a lot of YouTubers.
So we're gonna say that this is acceptable. Like, I know that we're acknowledging all of these things, but we're not saying whether it's right or wrong. Do we like it? Do we not like it? Like,
I think
we have
it's
to come
nonsense.
to a conclusion to this now.
It has nothing
Like
to do
that's
with us
it.
because we are not their market.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
It's these kids. Like, for example, there's a lot of YouTubers now because I'm a YouTuber and I watch what algorithms that I need to be on.
Okay.
Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Erica Costello,
Right.
Tara, like these like little people from Ohio
Yeah.
taking hip hop and making it into a cat. Like these people make millions.
Yeah.
Cis white gender males.
Whatever works
Like, it's
for
about
them,
the
I
kids.
guess. It goes back to school.
They're not watching
Whatever
cartoons
works
no
for
more.
you to make it
They
to the
got
top.
Do it.
Trip hop. Trip hop.
There you
And
go.
ultimately, whether we like it or not, there's somebody out there who's gonna buy it.
Somebody's kids are buying their merch.
Yeah.
Their merchandise that they're selling. Like they're selling $25 per sweater.
The white thing.
Out
That's
here.
why Catch Me Outside
They're business
Girl
minded.
got a deal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Because she has a market. And so, because she has,
But you know what's
she has a
crazy?
market.
You know what's crazy? That
so
market.
Atlantic is gonna cash in on it.
You're right.
But what is
And
the
guess what? It's not gonna
Nah,
last
I'm
that
not
long
in
that.
because
We don't
all
know
she
yet.
got is Cash Me
I
Outside.
guess we just don't know yet.
That's it.
She also has
To-
How About
to
That.
be
Now,
continued.
hold on.
To be continued. We will soon find out. We'll definitely get back to her on another episode later on.
Word up.
Talk more about her successes and see how far that goes.
Yeah.
What the next hit is.
Quote
Make sure
unquote.
you're getting that high school diploma, girl. But it doesn't make sense. Make sure you get that diploma, girl.
I did listen to a little bit of audio from whatever she had from a video she put out, and it was not the worst thing I have heard.
But how many of your brain cells died?
That's right.
I mean, I've had more die before.
Yeah, I mean, but I think
I've
that's
had more
that's
But
die.
she thought about it
You
though.
know, yeah. I mean,
we keep saying it's not so bad. It's not that bad. It's
It's
all
pretty
right.
bad.
That's
That's
how it
basically-
But
happens.
some
that's how
stuff I
you
hear
accept it.
and
That's right.
it'll be playing. I mean,
But we know so much more
sometimes
talented
music
people.
choice will be on in the background and something new will play, and I'm just like, what
Alright,
the
yeah.
fuck is that? Turn that off, and I'll throw the remote across the room because
But
I
I will-
can't. It's
Oh, wait, say one last
unacceptable.
thing. It came from us being the 80s to being drug dealers to our kids taking the drugs.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think
So now, like, I can't
everybody's
even get to the music unless I am in that state.
Are you,
Like,
that's the
only time I
are you trying to
understand
say
it.
that she's a product of drugs?
All of them
I
are.
guess that's what it's.
Well, I guess
what she's
they all.
implying.
Oh, I guess it all.
With
Yeah.
that said, my drug is music.
I guess
Right.
they all
Keep it like
crack baby,
that.
right?
Music makes me
Oh,
happy.
yeah.
Wait,
But
can I say one last word?
What's
Can I
that?
just drop one last dime?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all these people have an opportunity to make music, to create their art, to express themselves, whatever it is. We're talking about them.
Yeah.
And so that just goes to show that we need to encourage our own people. You know somebody who's making good music?
Slim Trim.
Encourage them. You know what I'm saying? Support them. Show up to their gigs. Show up to every single
Yeah.
show. That's our people. And if we don't take control over what's going on,
That's what's
What
gonna
do we
happen.
I mean, to be honest, that's not to go too far on a tangent, but that's how we started. That's how our friendship started. I just, I met her and I liked her music and I was like, yeah, I'll go and support support you. Yeah, I'll go and support you.
No, that's
baby. I'll be in front row like. I will be, I'm gonna be that groupie.
That's right.
And then it went from being that to being like, yo, we built up a really good friendship, and then
hence the rapport,
onto business.
I know I'm a Slim Trim groupie.
It's dope how something like this can bring a line of people going back to diversity of lifestyles together under one common passion, and that's hip hop. And just to and on a lighter note, I know that we have a lot of things that are more important than Cardi B and Young Jock in a dress and this other
those just happen to
outside
be really
girl.
funny.
That just happens to be what everybody's talking about right now, but also a lot of things that should be being spoken on is the things that are going around in our worlds.
Yes.
And so, not to make it such a depressive state, but we do have to mention that a lot of people are going through hardships with these like hurricanes and earthquakes and things are flooding, people are losing their homes, people are losing their families, people, it's a devastating moment.
Yeah.
And personally, me, I don't have too much family in Puerto Rico, but even to listen to other people's stories is kind of like
somebody was affected if you weren't affected.
Yeah, exactly. My coworker even anytime she talks about her mother, I get goosebumps, and I'm like, damn, like I hope that woman's okay. I don't know her from a hole in the wall, but it still affects me.
Right.
Just shout out to everyone who is out there
Puerto Rico.
enduring that.
From Puerto Rico to Florida, everybody that got hit.
Caribbean.
That's right.
Pray for you.
We're praying for you.
That's right.
Love,
That's right.
peace,
Absolutely. But we do have upcoming events. We do have some upcoming events to, support different movements. So, I know Slim, you have some more information on that.
There's
Let them
a
know
couple
what's
things going on. If I miss anything, you guys can always find it on Instagram at The Lyrical Movement. Let's see. We have Thursday, September 28th for Good and Fun Studios in collaboration with Yes Yes Is Blessed. The Artist Complex, The Rapport, The Lyrical Movement will be hosting an event. Put your hands where your eyes can see. Inspired by Busta Rhymes.
That's right. Black
Hurricane
Party.
relief efforts. So bring $10 and 6 items. You're good to go. We're gonna have face painting, body art, live performances.
That's right.
September 30th, Kind Genius has a showcase that's going on as well. Where's that? Is that in Brooklyn or the Bronx?
I believe it might be Brooklyn.
Might be Brooklyn. But either way, it'll be on my Instagram as well. October 1st will be the launch of TLM Snapback.
Yes,
Let me get one of those.
Oh,
On
look at that,
Shopify, this is just some of the digs. Got the winter scullies coming and all of that stuff.
We talk about the black and gray though in the middle.
Like that black and gray. That's right. That's right.
Is that the way?
I'm sure I missed a whole bunch of stuff, but check it out on Instagram at The Lyrical Movement.
Yes. Everybody, just go around and give your shout outs and your handles so everybody knows where to reach you. I mean, I do not have a personal page yet, but you can go on Instagram. I don't know. I'm focused on
Keeping
this.
it real. Keeping it real.
So, go on Instagram at the.rapport. You could go on Facebook, The Rapport for the discussion group, and that's very interactive and very interesting. I love my group. I'm not going to lie. I love my group.
We are the best.
And then you do have the Rapport page that you should go and like and go follow. Everybody, give your handles.
That's right.
Where they can reach you.
I'm Deanna, Artist Complex. We are focusing on just, making a difference in artists' lives in the Bronx and representing our borough. We don't gotta go nowhere else to do our thing, Ain't no Brooklyn, ain't no Staten Island. This is the X right here.
That's shade.
That's right. My bad, a little bit of shade.
If it wasn't for the Bronx.
That's right. Right. Check us out on Instagram, on Facebook, on what else? We got a Twitter. We got a
Snapchat.
We got a Pinterest too. Hey,
Shout out.
That's right. Check us out.
Word.
Yeah. By the way, our website is under construction right now. We setting that up. We getting the events popping on so we can get some footage and some photography on. So
That's right.
You see that coming soon and everything like that. Ivan and then Stanley, tell them about yourself a little real quick so we could close out and then rock.
Ivan come out the Bronx representing for us 80s and 90s, and now we do the ever Everything you need to reach me at, hit me at the Rapport. I'm at the Rapport. Let me know what you want to hear about. We're gonna talk about it. The Rapport. Talk to us.
Alright, cool.
Talk to us nice.
It's your man, Mr. Fields, Play the Field Entertainment Group. We do Playlist Wednesdays every month at the Delancey.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the Delancey because we fancy.
Cameraman got bars.
But I'm not a rapper.
But he's not a
this
rapper.
far right now because he did say that I could host that.
Yes, you did.
You guys will be seeing Stanley a lot more on
Yes,
the panel
Stanley.
because he got a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Mr. Fields, Mr. Fields, Mr.
I'm
Fields.
sorry.
And Mr. Black over here as well.
So we definitely
Absolutely.
be
That's
talking
right.
more with him.
Word
Rob, let
up.
him know.
I am Ra right here. You can catch me on Instagram. I_AM_RAH. Holla at me. I'm the co-host of Le Rapport.
Can we
Yes.
get your yes, God?
Yes,
So
y'all.
guys, let us know. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys think about Cardi B. Let us know what you think about this Cash Me Outside girl, about job,
How
about
about that?
culture. We will get into further discussion about exactly what the Hip Hop Report is and what hip hop is to us. But stay tuned for episode 2. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.